What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Keegan and Company podcast moments episode, where we take a trip down memory lane and listen to our favorite moments or our favorite guests of the Keegan and Company podcast. In this episode, we are talking to professional skater Jake Hayes. Jake turned pro at a young age. He had the highest ollie at one point, and in this episode, he talks about his own personal life and the dramas and really unsettling things that were happening in his family dynamic, especially with his dad and his mum. And I think in this episode, it's really interesting to see most people talk about these things after the fact, after they've gone through and they have all the answers and they have all the learnings and all the reflection. But Jake is being really open and really vulnerable while he's still in it, which is a huge prop to Jake. He obviously, you'll hear about it on the podcast. He's fine. He feels really good. But I think if there was anything to take out of this conversation, it's about the importance of family. And so if you're a father, if you're a mother, or even if you're a child, making that first move and taking that first step is super important and it is super valuable. So listen to Jake. It is a really incredible podcast and I think you'll enjoy it. When you were growing up, you obviously, you would have been, I imagine, probably pretty good growing up. Like when you must have been. But was there a point in time where you thought, I could probably actually make a run at this as a career?
I think like in the back of my head, it was always kind of like I was never going to take no for an answer. So like I was always just going to keep pushing towards it. But like me being a skateboarder and the person I am, like I've never been good enough. It's like I'm never going to be like the pro skateboarder I want to be. It's just because the grass is always greener, like you can always be better. But yeah, I don't know, like it's just like a personal thing,
I've got so much respect for you, like, to be able to talk like this now, bro, because I know it's a hard thing to do.
For sure.
And to be honest, man, most people that are willing to have these types of conversations, they'll do it after the fact, they'll do it after they have the conversation. They'll do it after they've, they might have been through cancer, but they get out the other side, or they might be been in domestic violence and they come out the other side.
Yeah.
It's very rare that someone will talk about it while they're still in there.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
And mate, I got fucking goosebumps. Think about it now, man. Like, because it's like, it's such a hard thing, but the vulnerability piece of you talking about it now, I respect hugely. Why are you so open to talking about it now?
I mean, I've never really told anyone this sort of thing. Like my close friends know that I don't have a good relationship with my dad, stuff like that. But like the general public, I wouldn't say knows anything about it. And like, I don't know, like my mum it's like she's finished with all like the court stuff and everything like that. And so like that's kind of all in the past. She's moved away from Sydney. She's up north. She kind of just got away from everything. And like, I don't know, I feel like it's important for other people out there to know that like this is a common thing, like people go through issues with their family. I personally don't have an answer on how to deal with it, obviously, because I'm still involved in it. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I just want people to know that like you can go through this, you can try and find something that is going to help you get through it, and like there is light at the end of the tunnel. Like I'm fine, like I feel great. My life is great. And it's just, I have that thought of like, oh shit, like this is something I'm going to need to do at some point in my life. Hopefully not before it's too late, and so, yeah, I mean, yeah, I just really feel like people could benefit from hearing that like other people are in this situation,
Bro,
it happens.
I love everything about that. I think that's the whole reason for these conversations.
For sure.
And I think you'll be surprised on how many crew will reach out afterwards. Like, mate, 50% of couples divorce throughout their time. And so imagine the kids, imagine the families, or imagine the parents that are out there who might be listening or might hear about this, where it's just like, you know what, like I'm going to reach out to my kid.
There you go, yeah. And it's like, who's to say my dad won't reach out? Yeah. I have no idea. I don't know what could happen from this, but I do believe that like, yeah, there are so many people going through this, and like I still feel like I've built something pretty good for myself, even though I've had to deal with this sort of thing. Like you can push through the struggle and like get through it. But I do think that like the closure is what's going to like encapsulate this and like end it,
I got this theory that I've been thinking about recently, where it's just like, I look back at like the hardest times in my life, usually have generated some sort of positive thing, whether it's like, I lost one of my best mates to suicide when I was 17. that got me into mental health and doing stuff with Movember, and to be honest, led to doing the podcast.
For sure.
I was medically retired from rugby league. I had too many concussions. Neurologist told me to medically retire, but then that led me to again doing all this stuff that I love. Is that something that you subscribe with? Because I look at like what you're doing, or the conversations, or the whole, how fucked up and heavy it is with your old boy and your family. But then you look at how hard you've had to work to get to where you are, and now you talk about how you want to be a good dad and everything like that. Is it something that you think about at all, or?
Yeah, I mean, it really feels like it's just like a full circle thing, where you feel like the times weren't as good at home when they could have been better, and you use that as the inspiration and the motivation to like complete the goals that you've had for yourself, and like you get to a certain place to where you're like, all right, like now I'm going to start my family. And I just think it's really important to like, learning from the mistakes are the most important thing to learn from. I think like what not to do is such a big lesson, if it's more important than like what to do, I think. And like to be able to learn and to have other people be able to learn from like my mistakes, is perfect. So that people don't have to go through 7 years of no contact with a parent, like that's the main thing that I'm like hoping to like get out of all of this, is that like maybe someone can like do it better than I did.